On this episode of The Sequence, we'll talk about basic drum pattern tips for the MPC ONE, Live, or the X.
The Sequence.
What is going on, people? So, when I was thinking about this, I didn't realize how important basic drum patterns are for whatever genre of music that you create. And I want to focus on, just different drum patterns and how much drum selection matters, because all these things are really important if you're trying to master production in some type of way, especially on groove boxes or drum samplers, whatever you like to refer to them as. So let's begin with that. And I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comment section of this question right here. Do you start with your drums first, or do you do a melody first? And, how do you rock? Let's begin. So let's begin the lesson by going into something called downtempo, which is very, very related to modern day music right now, the genre being trap. So there is multiple downtempo genres, but I'm going to start with trap since that's the most popular one that everybody likes. We're going to go into the BPM. We're going to choose 65 BPM. And the reason why I use single time is because you get advantage with time correction, which is this button right here. It'd be a little different on the Live 2 and Live and X. So right here, we're going to begin. Next thing you're going to do is go into your browser, and we're going to type in the word trap together. And we're going to find a trap drum kit within the MPC itself. I like that one. I'll go ahead and hit stop so we can start that preview. All right. So from the main here, the most important thing obviously is to identify what your drums are. So these two red ones right here are your kick, or basically your 808 type kick or whatnot. These are snares, and these are hi-hats, cymbal. So that's what you want to start with. So let's start with a basic drum pattern that you should know. And it's very easy because of the way it's set up to loop. So hit record, hit play start, and we're gonna do it like this. Boom, 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 snap. I'm gonna add that snare. It might be a little offbeat, but time correction will save you. And hi-hats. And that's it. And now you have done your first down-tempo drum pattern, like your basics here. Now there are variations here. It's one of the variations you'll hear that's very common within like Southern hip hop, trappish type beats or whatnot, is this right here. We're gonna add an extra snare, or this right here. Let's go ahead and do that. Overdub this time. So remember that. Play start. Get your count in. Let's go. Tap, tap. And now you hear that, and that's one of the variations. Believe it or not, that just a little extra something will bring something in here. So therefore, it's cool. So this is a 2-bar loop, by the way. What you can do is hit this pencil sign and double length. And now you have a 4-bar drum line. So very simple. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to hit overdub and bring that in there. And we're going to let it loop. It's going to hit on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Counting bars now. 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. All right. So now that you have that and learned something basic here, there's a slight advanced version of that. Obviously, the thing that you hear commonly is fast hi-hats, like tap, 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 So you could actually do that by tapping on note repeat twice, really fast, and it's gonna lock that in to the time signatures here. So let's set this up for 132. Now let's add that in there, or 1/64. Let's go ahead and do that. So overdub again. And now turn overdub off. You hear it? All right. And you good to go. You just learn basically your down tempo or whatnot. And funny enough, when we go into a higher BPM, you'll see that it can apply to something like maybe 85, 70, and so forth. And the reason, again, why I use single time is because if you go into double time and you go into your time correction, which you should set it back to 1/16 always, so that way that you don't have like your time won't be off, or if you try to tap it in, it will be off. But 1/16 in double time will be 132. So you got to know that, okay? That's a very important, okay? And 132 will be what? 1/64. So it's times 2. So, that's why it'll be a little difficult for you to understand. Let's go into the browser here. I'm going to exit out. I'm going to type in the search directory hip hop, because we need some hip hop drums now. We're going to talk about hip hop for a second here. This relationship within down tempo, and with down tempo too, by the way, that's called a two-step beat. Very famous in garage, UK garage, and so forth. And jungle is very, very common. That's why we're talking about these basic drums. So we're going to go in here and we're going to grab one of the new skills drum kits. We're going to grab the Premier Beast drum kit. Grab that one. All right, so we got the drums that we need. But I'm going to do here, I'm going to turn note repeat off, because that's important too as well. Otherwise you'd be stuck at note repeat. Don't worry, I do it all the time. So what we're going to do is record over this. We're going to do this drum line right here. We're going to start simple. Remember, take your time. Hear that count. If you got to hear the count, just listen to the count and record it. Kind of messed up, but it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to like 2 bars here. All right, and then we have that. So, but there is another level to that. It's another layer to the typical hip hop or basic boom bap drum line. Going into the basic drum line here, we can go into time correction. Make sure that time correction is on, and we can set up swing, because I've already talked about swing and its purpose, but set the swing to like 64, and let's go ahead and set the shift timing to about 3. So it's going to be a little behind, but it's going to have more of a groove to it. Okay, so that's the significance of that. And then just hit do it. All right, now there's another drum line I would like to talk about. And that's going to be easier because you already set up your time correction, so you'll be able to input that in there and it will sound pretty funky. Let's go ahead and do that. Kind of messed up. Sounds a little ghost notey. Let's do that again. All right. Boom, tap, boom, tap. Hip hop in a nutshell from a basic drum, and you don't necessarily have to do it like this, like how I'm doing it. I don't expect you to have that kind of coordination, because even I don't. If I did, I wouldn't use time correction, and that's why that's here. So inputting it, you would do it this way. Boom. a boom, tap, boom, 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 a boom, boom, tap, 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 tap. Yeah. And there you go. You have like your basic hip hop joint right there. There's another one too as well, and it's boom boom tap, boom boom tap, boom boom tap, boom boom tap. So let's lay that out, and we can even leave the swing in for this one. It'll sound pretty funky like that. Boom boom tap, boom tap, boom boom tap, a boom boom tap. And you could try anything with that. Matter of fact, you know what sounds good with this? This drum kit, the trap drum kit. Yeah, like you could be creative with your basic drum pattern, okay? Now we're gonna go up in BPM here, and we're gonna go and grab a house kit. What I'm gonna do here is introduce you to what I think is key for a great house track, which is the TR-909. So just hit the search directory, type in 909, do it, and then you have the Drum Machine Classic Kit 909 kit or whatnot. Load that in, go back to your main. Of course, you pick it in the drum program, and let's see where it's at. There it goes. Now we're gonna record it. We're gonna go to about 120 BPM. I know I said single time, but let's go ahead and turn things up. I think you're getting better. And then find your hats. And find other drums. Now that you heard that, you got something to work with as far as your basic house. This is where I turn things up for you, and you can also do doubles in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Remember, overdub, because we're going to use the same drum pattern. You heard that? I added an extra one in there, so I'll do that again. And you just basically spiced up your house track. Same thing, we're going with that. You can still apply TC to it. You can apply swing to it, my bad. And well, it is in TC. And you can shift the timing so you can get a little bit more humanized swing to it. Do it. Let's hear it without the swing. I'm gonna hit undo. Now let's press shift and redo. And you can actually hear that vibe there. So tell me how you feel about this video. I think it's a very important video for this point right here. Like, to be honest, like if you start with your drums first, then yeah, your melody will have a specific kind of vibe, bounce, and you can kind of maneuver totally different from when you drop a melody first. And that actually does affect certain things like call and response. That's the main thing that it will affect, because when you come with a strong drum pattern or a good basic drum pattern with whatever drums that you select, then you could figure out how the bass line is going to convey itself. If the bass line is going to be the call, like the main part of the track, the groove, and if your melody is going to complement it, or is it going to be the main thing that you do. So I definitely want to hear from you guys. Do you do the melody first, or do you add the drums first? Definitely want to know.